I'm Amy.
You're Amy the chiropractor.
Amy the chiropractor.
Amy the chiropractor. Okay. So obviously it goes without saying, of course you got Raphael back there.
Gave you some obvious ones.
Yeah, right. Throw it out there. Boy, he's good. He knows how to chiropractor. So it's interesting though, is with you, Amy, is that you do get Archangel Metatron stepping forward. Now, Metatron isn't like a transformer. He's actually, he's like, really? Now he's talking about transfer? He is crazy. No, but Metatron is actually kind of is an archangel that it depends what you read, but kind of puts it up there with Archangel Michael. But typically, when Archangel Metatron shows up, he's usually indicative of people having either very vivid dreams, or a lot of people call them remote viewing, lucid dreaming, spirit walking. There's a lot of different labels, I guess. And can I ask you, have you been having some pretty vivid dreams or pretty funky dreams lately?
Yes.
Okay, so, and that would just really validation of what's going on. So understand that when we are having those is because our conscious mind is shutting down and our subconscious mind opens up and is a lot more open to that in the sleep state, and where we're actually able to energetically leave our body and go off and do other things. So the thing that I would also share with you is it's interesting because I've never seen that. It's like you have a bag beside you, and it's filled with, and I know this is going to sound weird, but it's filled with like angel, how do you call it? Angel dust? I don't want to call it, I don't know, whatever. And it's like where, in a sense, you're kind of like sprinkling on everything. It's like, you ever see the old saying, it's like, this is happy dust, spread that shit everywhere or whatever. In a sense where you kind of carry that with you. And it's like you're almost given this. And I know that sounds really weird, but that really just tells me is that you connect deeper than most to angels, and as well as that brings not only a sense of happiness, but actually where you're able, not only your clients, in the scope of what you do every day, but also your friends. So you're able to like spread happiness and all that great stuff. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So it's more analogy driven. It was just, it's not like actually, yeah, I do have this bag, and it's just an analogy. It's like, damn it, where is my bag of dust? And so understand is that just sharing with you is that just kind of sprinkling the energy of that. So I do have a male that steps forward on the mother's side of the family. Understand this gentleman would have passed, feels to me I'm understanding his age would have been approximately 45, so mid-40s, so 45 to, mid-40s, mid to late 40s. One of the interesting things is, though, is I see him average height, average weight, and I was like, one of the things just looking at him, I don't really get a sense of anything wrong with him. That's why one of the energy that I get surrounding him feels like it was such a shock with his passing. So does that make sense to you? Can you recognize or validate? So I see him more sandy brown hair. See him more with just a regular t-shirt, blue jeans. Okay, it's all right. So it feels more like a heart attack. You would have passed from heart issues, some complications. So very sudden heart attack. So okay. So over here on the father's side of the family, I do get a female that steps forward. Understand that she would have been early to mid 70s. Feels to me like she would have passed in the fall, early spring, I'm getting my time frames mixed up. It would either been late spring or summer, spring, or summer, fall time frame, she would have passed in there. Feels to me, though, was more in that summer. And I'm also understanding is that she would have been cremated. Does it make sense? Okay. Give me a second. And I also have another male that also steps forward on your mother's side of the family. Now it's interesting because he has one of those, if you will, those, I call them those 80s style trucker hats, so they're kind of like the mesh and the foam on the front or whatever, kind of screen printed. Heavier set gentleman, see him taller, square shoulders, and I'm understanding that I keep on seeing him associated with what I'm understanding is vehicle. He's always tinkering on something. So very mechanically inclined. I always see him working on something. He's always got a project going on. I recognize or validate who that is. And that's all right. I trust that who those folks are will validate for you. So the first thing that I'm hearing for you is, this is coming from your mother's side of the family, is talking about, do you own your own practice?
Mm-hmm.
You do. So, and you have your own building and such?
No, rent space.
Okay, you're renting space, okay. So, in your scope of what you do, have you been talking about, new energy coming in? Have you been talking about bringing other practitioners in as far as another chiropractor, kind of expanding your practice? Mm-hmm. Okay. Because he keeps on showing me that, if you think of the scope of what you do, kind of expanding. So I don't know if that's I'm understanding because energy coming in, I'm understanding that like partnering with somebody and then making it a bit bigger. So that might bring that sense of new space or owning you guys' space where you're not having to worry about lease or whatever the case is. And it's interesting because it's almost like it comes to you and this offer is kind of presented to you in a sense. So it's like, oh, that's pretty crazy almost in a sense, is where it just kind of shows up in front of you. And the other thing he talks about, and I don't know who he's referring to, but he talked about gallbladder surgery. Now I don't know if he was in for gallbladder surgery or if it's somebody else coming up or already recently had it. But the thing is understanding that it's interesting because if I'm now obviously I'm not a doctor nor am I a nurse. However, I'm understanding that technology has evolved quite a bit. So as far as the invasiveness of this surgery is very minimal, but the thing is it's almost like where it had a small complication. And it's interesting because it's almost like, I don't know if it's like a follow-on like infection or what it is, but so the thing that I'm understanding with that is that he just really shares that the angels are just really around that individual, just assisting in the healing, okay? So if that is not validating for you right at the moment, understand that saying, that's pretty crazy. So, and understand that if it's not already to be, understand that if it's future energy, that it can be constantly evolving. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. So, and if you guys don't understand that as well, a lot of times, if anything about future stuff comes up, understand that it could either happen or not happen, because when we're talking about future events, it's consistently evolving, okay? So, and obviously, you know, so always based upon what somebody may or may not do, you know, their decision. Does that make sense? Okay. And what's your name?
Erin?
Erin.